surreal, honestly. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, the big boys, Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill. I just met him earlier. Garrett Bradbury, all great pieces. There's so many more that I could sit up here and just list all of them. But, a lot of great pieces that make this organization what it is. And, Justin is just a key part of that. And, he already let me know I go by Jets, so we don't get any confusion there. Yeah, it'll be great to get that connection going with all the guys. And he's definitely a key piece to that.
I go by Jets. One of the things we wondered, Dan, is how could they do something with the quarterback position to make sure that Justin Jefferson knew who that was going to be and maybe help that process? Do you think it moves it along positively for Jefferson in getting that deal done?
It absolutely gives them a chance now. I mean, there was no shot that he was going to sign until he knew at least the name of the guy for the future. And now that it's J.J. McCarthy, it gives them the chance. The number is going to be absolutely outrageous. But if you're Minnesota, you were trying to get this done as quickly as possible. You also want to see how well this group or this duo looks on the field relatively quickly, because if there's that instant connection, I do think it helps you. Listen, Justin Jefferson was going to get paid a ton of money no matter what team was going to pay him. I think this now at least puts Minnesota at the top of the team that is likely to get that done.
So, okay, I think this is really interesting because ask yourself, what does Justin Jefferson want? And a lot of people seem to be low on J.J. McCarthy. He seems to be divided. Honestly, it seems like a lot of these quarterbacks who are drafted, people seem to be like, this is the greatest draft pick ever, or this is an absolute bust. They say that about Bo Nix. They're saying even about Caleb Williams, and the list goes on. And so J.J. McCarthy is no exception to that. And to me now, with Justin Jefferson wanting to stay, because I think Justin Jefferson, wants his money, of course, right? He wants to get paid. He wants all that money, which I agree with him. Like, get your money by all means. Don't hold that against him. But he also wants to ball out. He also wants to play great. He wants his numbers. He wants to shine. He wants to be the star. He is only going to do that if he believes in the offense that is run by their head coach, as well as the quarterback, which is J.J. McCarthy. So to me, if he signs a big deal, that is all the reassurance that you will need that J.J. McCarthy is legit, that he is not just some afterthought or, we need a quarterback, I guess we'll get J.J., that they believe that J.J. McCarthy will have true success in the NFL, because Justin Jefferson will be able to get paid. I mean, he can go to a lot of places and get paid, and competitive, teams as well. It's not just like, well, of course he's going to stay with Minnesota because that's the only place where he can get his money. That's not true. There's a lot of places where he can go where he can get money. And if he also just really cares about winning, there's plenty of other places that he could go and win, right? You could just, especially if you're a free agent, you can just be like, all right, let me pick and choose what I want. So I just think that by Jefferson staying, and there were some talks before, which I thought was insane. Colin Cowherd said this, that, they should try to trade or move on from Justin Jefferson. They have enough weapons. There's no reason to pay him. And it's like, what are you talking about? You want all those weapons. That's the benefit. Why do you think the 49ers are so competitive? The Eagles are so competitive. Why do you think back in the old days, the offense was so potent for the Chiefs when you had both Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, as well as, of course, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? So you want Jefferson, and that will smooth everything with J.J. McCarthy. People don't realize, I think, that this team does have a legitimate offense with some legitimate bona fide weapons that I really think, like, they were humming along with Kirk Cousins. Make no mistake about it. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He is a really good quarterback. I know he's not fancy. I know he's not in all the commercials. He's not cool. He's not hip, but he is a really good quarterback. And I think J.J. McCarthy now is at the age and at the point where now he's entering his career, of course, as a rookie, that he will be able to actually really connect with these younger players. He really cares, obviously. You could tell and again, I always judge a lot of these quarterbacks, and I've been saying this a lot now, really any of these younger players, no matter what sport we're talking about, but definitely football and being a QB, is the humility. How much do you want to learn? There are some quarterbacks that believe they are it. I am him. I'm about to change your franchise, the league, the fan base, whatever. And those are the vibes that the Sanders give me, Shedeur Sanders and, other players. I'm not going to start naming them all. And then you have other players that are like, I'm so excited. I'm so grateful that I just got drafted. I'm going to soak up the wisdom I can. I recognize that I had success in college, but I also recognize that I don't know nothing about the NFL. And I'm just going to soak up everything. Because it's night and day. There is a big difference. There is a reason why Patrick Mahomes sat for a year. There is a reason why arguably the greatest or going to be the greatest or one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL benefited from sitting for an entire year and got to soak up all the wisdom of none other than Andy Reid as well as Alex Smith. So that shows humility. That shows an eagerness and a willingness to learn and grow. And Patrick Mahomes is still learning and growing. Even Tom Brady said that it took him until like year 10 or maybe longer, that it wasn't until then that he finally felt like, okay, I've learned pretty much everything I can. Like I now know every single defense that can be thrown at me. It took him years and years and years and years and years. So that humility really, really matters. You cannot step on the field and think like, Will Levis makes me think of that. You can't step on the field and think, I just know what I'm doing. You haven't seen nothing until you've seen me. Maybe not Will Levis. I might be getting that name mixed up. Whoever the quarterback from the Titans is. The white dude. But so, I'm so bad with names. But JJ McCarthy, he when I look at him and I look at what he represents and I look at his success and all of that, people want to pull him down. They want to say, well, he didn't do enough in college. And my counter to that is, look at all the quarterbacks who failed, where they were the center of the offense, they were the center of the team, they're throwing 40, 50 times a game, and they were nothing in college. I mean, they were nothing in the NFL. They either didn't get drafted, or they were drafted, and they were busts, or they were backup. They were nothing. So this whole idea that J.J. McCarthy didn't do enough, that he didn't show enough, that just because he wasn't the center of the offense means like, yeah, he's clearly not going to be good. That's pretty silly. That's not real analysis right there. That's not a real take. Just because the team didn't need him to be a superhero doesn't mean that he is not a good quarterback. And that's why I think the Vikings, he's in a perfect spot. I really think actually every quarterback is in a perfect spot for their own skill set and what they bring. But I think J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, with the weapons they have, with the head coach, I just think that they can have great success very quickly. I think J.J. McCarthy fits from a cultural perspective. I think he fits from a skill set perspective. And I think, what also makes J.J. McCarthy really good is his ability to minimize mistakes. And I think we're learning that not only do you want to have a quarterback, or is it a major benefit to have a quarterback who is like a Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or, of course, Patrick Mahomes, where you can do all of this magical stuff, right? Where you can just take over a game without a doubt and do things that your eyeballs fall out of your head and you're just like, I don't even know what I just saw. But it's also really, really, really important to have a quarterback who can minimize mistakes. And that's what we saw how Brock Purdy really shined. I think he obviously can do other great things, but to me, the minimization of mistakes, of if you're not part of the solution, definitely don't be part of the problem. And I don't mean that as a whole, I just mean like in any given moment of a game. And that is where Brock Purdy shines. His mistakes are minimized relative to, say, even like a Josh Allen. Because the truth is, when you can do so much, your risk of mistakes, so to speak, increases. That's what we saw with Justin Fields. That's what we saw with Josh Allen. It's what we saw with many phases with even Patrick Mahomes. That's why I always point out that it was Andy Reid's, guiding hand that was like, all right, let's pull back. Your mechanics are getting crazy. You're trying to push the ball down the field. You're trying to do Superman Patrick Mahomes every play. That's not winning football. And it was when you pull back the reins on Patrick Mahomes is when you can really succeed. And so I think that's why J.J. McCarthy is going to have that success. Because I think, the risk taking will be minimized, and you don't need it with this team. You can thrive. You can be successful. Again, I'm not telling you right now that J.J. McCarthy is going to be the next Tom Brady. And like I always say in these videos when talking about these quarterbacks, it's because I have no idea. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. No one knows whether or not J.J. McCarthy is going to be a bust or if he's going to be better than Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Nobody knows. But I am confident in saying that I do think he will be a really good quarterback and that he will have success. Again, of course, he's going to have some bad moments. He's a rookie, but I really think that he's in a great spot. I think Minnesota Vikings should be really happy and optimistic about the future. I don't think you took a chance on one of these quarterbacks. Zach Wilson is another one who I don't think came into the league with humility and humbleness and said, I just want to learn, let's go. And listen, sometimes you have those quarterbacks who want to learn and are humble, but they don't have either the right team around them or they don't have the right coaches around them. Okay? Patrick Mahomes is super humble and has a lot of humility. I think if he got drafted by the Carolina Panthers, he wasn't learning anything. Okay? So I think that's why also someone like a J.J. McCarthy has a major leg up on succeeding within the NFL because of just the Vikings organization and the coaching staff and the players and weapons around him. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Do you think J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings will have instant success, especially with Justin Jefferson? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.